Hey, this is Michael with Troop, and I want to take you through 5 major networking misconceptions. These are things that hold people back from getting started. They hold people back from being successful in it, and I want to help disprove all of these so that you can begin and be successful. So here are the 5 biggest misconceptions about networking. 1. You have to talk a lot. No, you don't. 2, you have to be well connected. Absolutely not. 3, you got to meet all the people at an event for it to be a good use of your time. Absolutely not. 4, you have to be charming. It helps. Totally worthless though if you have the right skills. And 5, you have to dress a certain way. All right, let's break these down. Number 1, you have to talk a lot to be a great networker. Just today, I had my first one-to-one meeting with an over-talker. I don't know why, but this person thought that I was super interested in their networking group and that I would want to meet. And he talked for 15 minutes nonstop about how great his networking group was. Now, that's awesome. And I'm excited for him and his networking group, but the reality is the reason I wanted an introduction to this person is that he happens to be a commercial realtor in Northern New Jersey. I have a contact who's looking for an accomplished commercial real estate agent in Northern New Jersey. Now, unfortunately, because of the way he behaved in our one-to-one, I am not making that introduction. The reason I'm not isn't because I don't think he's great at what he does. It's not because I don't think he might be an okay guy, but it's really because I'm not willing to risk an established relationship, nor am I willing to put an established relationship in a situation where they're gonna get bulldozed by someone who has something really critical that they feel is important. The reason I'm sharing this story is that it is exactly the reason why talking a lot isn't the way to go when you're being a networker. It's important to be competent in how you share what's important about you and your work. So here, if you are not a big talker, here's a way to talk very little and be very successful in networking. Ask questions. Specific questions. Mr. Networking Friend, what do you do? Who do you serve? Who are your best referral sources? Get to know them personally. Show that you're interested. Get the information from them you need to be a great resource to them. That is how you do it. That networking partner is gonna ask you questions back about you, what you do, who you serve, who your referral sources are. Have answers that are clear, concise, and help people understand how to be a resource back. That is the essence of being a great networker. So here's a tip I wanna give you, especially if you consider yourself an introvert or you're shy or you're just scared about getting out there. Learning how to answer the common questions in networking, which I've repeated several times already, but let's do it again. Who do you serve? What do you do? And who are your top referral resources? Actually can be practiced at home. And here's how I recommend you do it. Write out the answers to those questions. Then record yourself on video answering those questions. Watch those videos back and see how you're communicating and think about how people will interpret that language. Re-record, re-record, re-record until you have it smooth. You're communicating in a way that makes you feel comfortable and that you think is going to help educate your networking partners. This is going to put you leaps and bounds ahead of all the over talkers because you're going to be concise and clear and people are going to appreciate that and they are never going to be concerned about putting you in front of their best contacts. Misconception number 2 is that you have to be well connected to begin networking. This is crazy, and I've heard people ask, and I want to share my own story. I moved to New York City 7 years ago. I didn't know anyone here, no one. I knew my wife and myself, and that was that. I had a job that was actually cold call based, but I like to network, so I started networking right away. And I'll be honest, I had a little imposter syndrome. It was a brand new city. I didn't know anybody. So I asked myself, what value do I really bring to the table? Well, what I learned by going out and doing it anyway is that I had an enormous amount of value. Just going to events each week, meeting people, getting to know them, what they do, who they serve, and then taking that knowledge with me to other events as I met other new people. I learned that by keeping people in mind, as I met new people, gave me the opportunity to deliver massive value by being able to ask, hey, you know what? I know someone who does this thing, and I think they might be a great referral resource or partner to you. Would you be interested in an introduction? That is music to a networker's ears. So that accomplishes several things. I'm meeting new people. I'm immediately showing them that I'm a generous networker, and it creates a touch point with people I've already met to stay top of mind with them and to help them know that I'm thinking of them day to day. That is how you become not only a well-connected networker, but a respected networker. And over time, it will put you in a position to get introduced on autopilot, meaning you don't have to go to so many events. You don't have to constantly have one-to-ones with brand new people. Your contacts will be feeding you awesome introductions automatically. One pro tip that I want to share about introductions. The intro is a very common and very powerful tool in a networker's toolbox. However, I have a very strong rule. Never make a blind intro. A blind intro is when you do an email with 2 recipients, but nobody knows the intro is coming. And this is horrible because it doesn't give your contacts the opportunity to say, hey, you know what? I know 30 people in that category, or I'm so busy right now, I don't have time to deal with introductions, or any other challenges that could be going on in their lives. You never know what's going on. Always ask both parties before making an intro. Everybody will appreciate your effort. Networking misconception number 3. You gotta meet everybody at an event in order to make it worth your time. No, you don't. I want you to remember this for the rest of your networking career. Work slow, get to know the person that's in front of you, take time to learn how you can be a resource to them, understand who would be a great introduction for them, either for networking introductions or possible new business. Your ultimate goal is to decide if you wanna set up a one-to-one with them. That would be like meeting for coffee or lunch or having a Zoom call. Until you can confidently decide that you want to spend, you would be investing maybe an hour or 2 potentially for a one-to-one if you travel. Do not move on. Once you understand that and you have good rapport and you have understood your conversation partner, that is when you ask that person, hey, do you know anyone else at this event you think I should meet? And if they say yes, ask if they will introduce you. It's amazing. This gives your new partner the opportunity to show gratitude to other networkers at that event that they know. They met someone cool, they think they're useful, and now they're gonna make that intro. Give them that opportunity. They will be grateful even if they never say anything about it, but it will also give you a very clean way to move on to the next person. If you spend an hour and a half in an event and you meet 4 people, you did an awesome job. Reach out, have coffee, spend some time getting to know them. Networking misconception number 4. You gotta be super charming to be a great networker. False news. Absolutely false. Real networkers are gonna value your skills, your knowledge, the way you communicate, the way you show interest in them, the introductions you make that are high value, far and away above any kind of charm that you may have or develop. Does charm help? Yes, it helps. But if you have charm and you're inauthentic and you're not honest and you don't ask good questions about people and you don't become a great resource, no amount of charm is going to help you be extra successful. I've met plenty of people who did not have charm. They weren't really that fun to talk to. They didn't tell jokes. They weren't gregarious in any way, but they were very good at what they did and they were excellent at communicating what they do. And it let me understand why they were there and what they were trying to accomplish. It let me become a fan of their mission. So for me, charm is irrelevant. Helpful, but not necessary. All right, and we're at number 5. Misconception about networking, you gotta dress a certain way. Look, professional dress has shifted dramatically over the last few years, and COVID really put a nail in the casket on traditional work uniforms. Now, I do spend a lot of time in New York City, and I can tell you, there are far fewer suits than there ever were before, and the ones that I do see often are being worn with sneakers. So we have shifted dramatically. Now, New York City is a very specific community, and your community may have different expectations of you as a professional. So what I would do, and this is a little weird, but a lot of networking groups will maintain a website or a social media page. You can look at their event pictures and see how people are dressing. You know, if you're in a community that demands a more traditional look as a professional, don't fight it. It is what it is. You know, I would encourage you to express your style as much as you can, because I think that does make you attractive as a person when you have a way of expressing yourself through clothing. But don't show up in jeans and sneakers and a t-shirt if everybody else is in a suit, because it will make you harder for people to see as a professional, because you're not going to look like what they expect a professional to look like. So if you want to run a little risky in those situations, nice, good fitting, dark jeans with clean sneakers and a blazer actually can take the place of a suit many times. Far more stylish, and it offers far more options, and nice side effect, it's far more affordable than a quality suit. Regardless of the style you choose, I do recommend you find a tailor in your area. You know, even if you're buying affordable button-down shirts, you know, they're not going to fit great, but if you bring them to a tailor and you spend an extra 20, 30, 40 bucks on that, they can bring it in, make it look great for you. That does make a big difference. And it doesn't require you to be super fit to have well-fitting clothes. A good tailor will make you look amazing regardless of your shape. My final thought on what you should be wearing as a networker is very straightforward. Never sacrifice confidence for somebody else's expectations. Yes, I know I just went on about some communities expecting you to have a more professional dress, but ultimately you got to ask yourself, what makes me feel like me? What makes me feel confident walking in that room? What do I think I look awesome in? Those are the questions you need to ask yourself. Never sacrifice confidence for somebody else's expectations. I hope annihilating these misconceptions about networking will help give you the confidence to get out there, join your local business community, and craft yourself one hell of a network. Look, thank you so much for watching to this point. If you got value out of any one of these misconceptions we tackled today, please drop us a like. It definitely helps support the channel. But if you really like it, you got a lot of value out of it, subscribe. I'd love to have you be part of the Troop community.